Hi, my name is Jenna Cappuccia, and today I'll be giving a persuasive, informative speech on why giving your employees fewer hours is actually better for your business. Ding! A new Slack message pops up on your laptop. Ding! An email has just appeared in your inbox. Ding! Your calendar reminds you that you have a Zoom meeting starting in 15 minutes. Ding! 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 The modern business world has essentially erased the line dividing work and personal life, with a constant barrage of dings dictating the structure of our days. But does this nonstop work cycle actually make us more productive and complete more tasks? This lack of division causes us to feel overworked, stressed, lose company morale, and can even make us physically unhealthy. I believe that it is actually beneficial for both businesses and their employees to shorten the length of the average workday and allow for space between professional and personal spheres. The invention of the standard 8-hour workday dates all the way back to the American Revolution that took place during the 19th and early 20th centuries. During this period, there was no limit to the number of hours organizations could ask of factory workers, including children as young as 5 to 6 years old. Eventually, thanks to the encouragement of labor unions, the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938 was passed, creating a minimum wage, outlawing child labor, and requiring overtime pay for work that exceeded over 40 hours per week. However, almost 100 years later, the modern landscape of the business world is the inverse of what it once was, and it no longer makes sense to be following the same rules. The biggest factor that has changed the way we work is the invention of the internet and its integration into the workplace. The internet is in large part the catalyst for a noticeable shift in the type of work we do now versus 100 years ago. Today our work is heuristic, it involves critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity, while during the Industrial Revolution, they favored physical labor that did not require much brain power. If you work in a business setting that is structured around heuristic labor, then you might be familiar with how it requires you to enter a physiological state of flow. When given a task that requires critical thinking, we are the most productive when we can fully immerse ourselves in the assignment in front of us and block out external distractions. However, when your flow is interrupted by a constant stream of dings and digital distractions, productive work is lost in favor of constantly switching between tasks, never fully engaging with a single one. One study estimated that during a typical workday, employees check their email on average 74 times per day, while they reach for their smartphones 2,617 times per day. Jason Fried, co-founder of Basecamp and author of It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work, believes that due to the mentally draining nature of heuristic work, the maximum amount of time a person can spend in flow is 4 hours. The 40-plus hour work week with 8-hour days is not conducive to this idea of maintaining a flow. Putting in more hours doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more efficient work done. It simply means you'll spend more time distracted and switching between tasks. I believe the way to create productivity in the workplace is by restructuring the American business model and more specifically, creating a 6-hour workday. Why 6 hours? Steve Glavesky, the author of Time Rich, Do Your Best Work, Live Your Best Life, and CEO of Collective Campus, conducted an experiment with his Collective Campus crew where for 2 weeks they enforced a strict 6-hour workday. While some employees originally expressed worry that they would not be able to complete all their work with 2 fewer hours in the day, the group actually discovered that they became much more productive and spent less time distracted. Meeting times were shortened from 1 hour to 30 minutes, which allowed for more productive conversations to happen. High-value tasks were prioritized over menial assignments, and employees found themselves less inclined to reach for their phones. According to Steve, who was pleased with the results of his experiment, by cultivating a flow-friendly workplace and introducing a shorter workday, you're setting the scene not only for higher productivity and better outcomes, but for more motivated and less stressed employees, improved rates of employee acquisition and retention, and more time for all that fun stuff that goes on outside the office walls, otherwise known as life. Do you hear that? Pure silence. There are no more dings because you've temporarily turned off notifications and given yourself permission to enter your flow in order to be the most productive business person you can be. In a little while, you'll check your inbox and spend some time catching up, but for now, you're wasting less time jumping between activities and instead directing all your attention to one high-value task. You and your employees feel more motivated to work for the company, are less stressed, and are looking forward to life outside of the office. This is what business could be like if the 6-hour workday was adopted and organizations stopped structuring their business around an outdated model. Cutting back work hours is something that I believe will benefit us all. Thank you.